rape and murder against Akpan. He have discharged and acquitted the father and sister of Akpan.
I want to plead with every...
She left home that Thursday morning with hope in her heart, but she would never come back. Think about that for a second. A young woman, degree in hand, just trying to find her place in the world. She was not doing anything wrong. She was not in the wrong place at the wrong time because of bad choices. She was doing exactly what any of us would do, looking for a job. And that simple, normal thing became the last thing she ever did. This is the story of Iniubong Umoren, and once you hear it, you will never scroll past a job post online without thinking twice. Iniubong Umoren was 26 years old. She was a graduate of philosophy from the University of Uyo in Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. She was smart, she was driven, and she was the kind of person who made her family proud. She had just finished her degree and was waiting, like thousands of Nigerian graduates, for her deployment letter from the National Youth Service Corps, the NYSC. While she waited, she was not sitting at home doing nothing. She was searching for work. Every single day she was online, applying for jobs, sending messages, looking for any opportunity that could help her move forward. Her family in Akwa Ibom supported her. Her siblings were proud of her. She had come a long way and the future looked bright. All she needed was one good opportunity, one door to open, one person to give her a chance. On the morning of April 29, 2021, Iniubong saw a job post on social media. The post was advertising a job vacancy. To a young graduate who had been searching for months, this looked like exactly the break she had been waiting for. She did not hesitate. She sent a message to the number attached to the post. The person who replied was a 20-year-old man named Uduak Akpan, also known as Uduak Frank Akpan. He was an undergraduate, the son of a man named Frank Akpan, and he lived with his family in the Uruan local government area of Akwa Ibom State. To anyone reading his messages, he seemed normal enough. He told Iniubong the job was real. He told her to come for an interview. He gave her an address and fixed a date. She believed him. Before she left that morning, Iniubong did something that would later become the most important thing she ever did. She told her close friend, a woman named Uduak Umoren, where she was going. She gave her the name of the man she was meeting. She said, "I am going for a job interview." She said it the way any of us would say it, casually, confidently, with no idea that anything could go wrong. As Iniubong made her way to the location, she kept messaging her friend. The two of them were in contact throughout the journey. At first, everything seemed fine, but as Iniubong got closer to the address Uduak had sent her, something changed. She looked around. The location did not look like any office or company. There were no workers, no reception area, no sign of a business. The compound looked deserted. It was quiet in a way that felt wrong. Iniubong's heart began to beat faster. She typed a message to her friend Uduak Umoren and sent it. She said the place did not look right. She said it looked scary. She said she thought something was wrong. And then she did something that would later help bring a criminal to justice. She sent her friend the full name of the man she had come to meet. "If anything happens to me, remember this name." Those words were the last clear message her friend would receive. Shortly after, Uduak Umoren heard something through the phone that made her blood run cold. She heard Iniubong scream. She called back immediately, again and again. No answer. The line went silent. Iniubong Umoren had walked into a trap, and she had done it believing she was going to a job interview. While Uduak Umoren was still calling Iniubong's phone with trembling hands, somewhere in Uruan local government area, something terrible had already happened. Uduak Akpan had not posted any job. There was no interview, no office, no vacancy. The post was a lie, carefully designed to pull in young women who were desperate for work. Akpan had done this before. According to investigators who later looked into his past, this was not his first time using this method. He had reportedly used the same trick on at least 6 other women before Iniubong. He called it reverse psychology. He knew that a job offer would attract people who were vulnerable, people who needed money, people who were too hopeful to be suspicious. When Iniubong arrived at the compound in Uruan, she was alone, far from the busy parts of the city with no witnesses around. Akpan was waiting for her. What he did to her inside that compound was brutal and unforgivable. He took advantage of her. He violated her. And when it was over, when Iniubong told him she would go and report to her family, something inside Akpan snapped. He could not allow her to leave. He could not allow her to talk, so he made sure she never would. He used an object. Investigators later confirmed it included an electric iron and a stabilizer found at the scene, and he ended Iniubong Umoren's life right there in that compound. She was 26 years old. She had a degree, she had a family that loved her, she had a whole life ahead of her, and it was all taken away on a Thursday afternoon in April 2021 in a compound that was supposed to be an interview location. After ending her life, Akpan carried her remains and buried them in a shallow grave in the backyard of his father's compound in Uruan. He tried to hide what he had done. He thought he had gotten away with it. He was wrong. Back in the city, Uduak Umoren was not going to stay quiet. She had heard her friends scream. She had seen the last message Iniubong sent. She went online. She posted everything. The name Iniubong had sent her, the details of where she had gone, the fact that she was now missing. The post spread like fire. Nigerians on social media picked it up immediately. The hashtag FindHinyUmoren went viral within hours. Thousands of people began sharing the story, demanding answers, calling on the police to act. The Nigerian police force in Akwa Ibom state could not ignore the pressure. They moved quickly. Using phone tracking, they traced Iniubong's last known location. They traced the number she had been communicating with. Everything pointed to one person, Uduak Akpan. Officers went to the Akpan family compound in Uruan. Akpan was not there, but his father, Frank Akpan, was present. He was taken in for questioning. The pressure mounted. Word reached Uduak that the police were looking for him, and then, in a move that surprised many people, he surrendered himself to the police. But before we go further, I need to stop here and ask you something. Drop a comment right now and tell me, before this video, had you ever heard of Iniubong Umoren's story? Let me know in the comment section below. Your comment keeps this story alive and ensures that Iniubong's name is never forgotten. Also, if you are watching this video and you are not yet subscribed to Trem Crime Zone, please subscribe right now. Here is why this matters. Every week, we tell you real stories, stories of real people in Nigeria and across Africa whose lives were taken, whose voices were silenced, and whose families are still waiting for people to remember them. When you subscribe, you make sure these stories reach more people. You might be the reason someone stays safe today. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video.
Now, back to the story. When Uduak Akpan walked into that police station and sat down in front of investigators, he did not deny what he had done. He confessed. He told them everything. He said he had posted the fake job adverts specifically to lure women. He said he had done this to 6 other women before Iniubong and never been caught. He said when Iniubong threatened to report him to her family after he violated her, he panicked and ended her life. He then buried her remains in the backyard. The Akwa Ibom State Commissioner of Police, Amiengeme Andrew, paraded Akpan alongside his father on May 14, 2021. Standing in front of cameras and journalists, Akpan repeated his confession publicly. He spoke about what he had done with very little emotion. He even gave a shocking reason for his behavior. He said he was taking revenge on women he called Run's girls. His words disgusted the entire country. The body of Iniubong Umoren was exhumed from the shallow grave on April 30, 2021, just 1 day after she had been reported missing. Her remains were identified and released to her family. She was buried in her hometown, Nong Itai Kot Esien, in Uruk Anam local government area of Akwa Ibom State on May 14, 2021. Her family buried their daughter, and across Nigeria, the anger was building.
When the news of Iniubong Umoren's story spread across Nigeria, people did not just feel sad. They felt something break inside them, because this was not the first time. Just 1 year before Iniubong's death, Nigeria had been rocked by the story of Vera Uwaila Omozua, a 22-year-old microbiology student who was brutally attacked while studying in a church in Benin City, Edo State, in May 2020. She did not survive. That case triggered daily headlines for an entire week, each one reporting a new case of violence against women across the country. The outrage had been so overwhelming that all 36 state governors signed a declaration of a state of emergency on gender-based violence in Nigeria. People had cried out, people had marched, people had demanded change, and here they were again, barely a year later, burying another young woman. This time, the anger was louder. Protests broke out in multiple states. Demonstrators took to the streets in Uyo, the capital of Akwa Ibom. Students and alumni gathered at the University of Uyo, the same institution Iniubong had graduated from, to protest her death and demand justice. The voices of Nigerian women rang out in every city. The message was clear: this could not keep happening. The police case against Uduak Akpan moved forward. Investigators gathered evidence from the crime scene: passport photographs of Iniubong, her belongings, the shovel used to dig the grave, the electric stabilizer and electric iron used during the attack, and, crucially, his confessional statements to both the police and the Department of State Services, the DSS. Phone records and cell tower data from the DSS confirmed that Akpan and Iniubong were in the same location at the Akpan family compound in Nui Kono Obio, Uruan local government area, on the day she disappeared. In July 2021, Akpan was brought before Justice Bennett Ilaumo at the Akwa Ibom State High Court in Uyo. He stood up and pleaded guilty to the murder. The country let out a collective breath. But under Nigerian law, a guilty plea in a capital case, a case where death is the possible punishment, cannot simply be accepted by a court. The court is required to enter a not guilty plea on behalf of the accused and demand that the prosecution still prove the case fully before a sentence can be passed. This is to make sure justice is done properly, not just quickly. So the trial continued. And then, something that many people did not expect happened. When the case was later taken over by Justice Basi Nkanang, after Justice Ilaumo was transferred to another judicial division, the trial started again from the beginning. And this time, Akpan changed his story. He stood in court and said he did not know Iniubong Umoren. He said he had never met her. He claimed he had only pleaded guilty in the first place because he had a fever and because his investigating police officer had pressured him. The courtroom was stunned.
His father, Frank Akpan, even took the stand to testify for his son's defense. He told the court that his son had a mental disorder and was being treated as an outpatient at the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital. He was trying to paint a picture of a troubled young man who should not be held fully responsible for his actions. But the prosecution was not moved. They had confessional statements to the police. They had confessional statements to the DSS. They had the phone records. They had the forensic and physical evidence from the gravesite. They had witness after witness, a total of 10 prosecution witnesses who took the stand and told what they knew. One witness, the chairman of Uruan local government area, told the court that Ukanenen Akpan had personally come to his house before his arrest and confessed that he had ended Iniubong's life. Another witness confirmed the same. The prosecution presented 20 exhibits in total. Let me pause here and ask you this. If you were on that jury, would the evidence have been enough for you? Drop your answer in the comment section right now. Your engagement means everything to this channel and to keeping true crime stories like this in the public eye. And if a friend or family member sent you this video, make sure you share it back. Share it to your WhatsApp, your Facebook, your Instagram. One share could reach a young person who needs to hear this safety message. Let us make Iniubong's story matter. The trial dragged on for 10 months. 10 months of witnesses, evidence, counter-arguments, and legal back and forth. Through all of it, Iniubong's family sat in that courtroom. They showed up, they waited, they held on.
On August 4, 2022, the Akwa Ibom State High Court in Uyo was packed. It had been over a year since Iniubong Umoren was taken from this world. Her family had waited, Nigeria had waited. Justice Basi Nkanang took his seat at the bench, and for almost 2 full hours, he read out his judgment. Every word landed in that courtroom like a stone dropped into still water. The judge went through the evidence piece by piece. He examined the confessional statements, the phone records, the forensic evidence, the testimonies of 10 prosecution witnesses, and the 20 exhibits presented by the state. He addressed the defense's argument that the confessions were obtained under duress. He dismissed it. The court had already ruled during a special hearing called a trial within trial that the confessional statements were freely given and were admissible as evidence. And then, Justice Nkanang looked at Uduak Akpan and said the words that Nigeria had been waiting to hear. The prosecution has proved beyond reasonable doubt the charges of rape and murder preferred against the first defendant. The first defendant, Uduak Akpan, is hereby sentenced to life imprisonment for rape, and that you be hanged to death for the charge of murder. This is the judgment of this court. Death by hanging. The courtroom erupted. People wept. Some cheered. Iniumbong's siblings Ephraim and Uduak Umoren were present. Ephraim said he was happy justice had been done. Uduak, while welcoming the verdict, used her moment to call on both the state and federal governments to create jobs for young people, because at the heart of all of this was unemployment, desperation, and a young woman who would not have been in that situation if there were enough opportunities for graduates in this country. As for Uduak Akpan, when the sentence was read, he did not accept it quietly. He attacked a lawyer in the courtroom, hitting him in the chest. He ran toward the door, shouting, "I am not guilty." It took multiple prison officers and police officers inside the courtroom to bring him down. They wrestled him to the floor, handcuffed him, and dragged him out of the building. He was driven away in a prison vehicle, still shouting, still refusing to accept what he had done. The man who used a fake job post to trap a young woman, the man who had reportedly done the same thing to at least 6 other women before her, the man who stood in front of cameras and confessed with almost no emotion, that same man, when it was time to face the consequences, ran, he hit, he screamed. His father, Frank Akpan, and his sister, Anwan Basi, who had also been charged as accessories after the fact, were discharged and acquitted. The court found that there was not enough evidence to convict them. Only Uduak Akpan was sentenced. The NYSC made a condolence visit to Iniumbong's family. NYSC officials condemned the act in the strongest possible terms. The local government inspector overseeing corps members in Ogun State, where Iniumbong had been posted before her death, promised the family that the NYSC family nationwide was devastated. He urged all corps members across the country to always be security conscious, to save emergency distress numbers in their phones, to move in groups when possible, and to never follow anyone, even someone they know, to an isolated location without telling someone trusted exactly where they are going.
I want to plead with every government officials, please, they should do everything within their reach, what they can do to find justice for my sister.
And so did this group of angry protesters who have taken to the street. They want to stop to sexual violence. The wife of the governor delivers their message.
This will not happen again. And I want to tell you that that monster and all their accomplices will not go unpunished. He has committed rape. He has committed murder. And as such, he will be charged for rape and murder case. All others that think they can do this and go scot-free, I want to tell them that their time is up.
The sad case is far from over, as it may take more than the arrest of the perpetrator to bring closure to the family or stop the menace of sexual violence.
If there are monsters, they should go into the bush.
It will take a collective effort by the society.
Iniubong Umoren was not careless. She was not foolish. She was not doing anything wrong. She was doing what millions of young Nigerians do every single day. She was looking for a job. She was trying to build her life. And someone used that hope against her. That is the most frightening part of this story. The weapon used against Iniubong was not a lie about danger. It was a promise of something good, a job, an opportunity, a door opening. And that is exactly what makes this kind of crime so deadly, because it targets people at their most hopeful moment. Uduak Akpan did not stumble into this. He planned it. He had done it before. He knew exactly what he was doing when he posted that fake job advert. He knew that young, educated, desperate for work graduates would respond. He chose his victims by targeting people who were vulnerable through unemployment. He called it reverse psychology. The court called it murder. So what do we learn from Iniubong's story? What do we take away from this? First, always verify before you go. Before you respond to any job post, search the name of the company online, search the name of the person, ask for a video call first. If a recruiter cannot give you a company name that you can verify independently, do not go. Second, always tell someone. Iniubong told her friend, that act alone is the reason Uduak Akpan is on death row today. Because of that one message, investigators had a name and a location within hours. If Iniubong had told no one, Akpan might still be out there today. Always leave a name, a phone number, and an address with someone you trust before you go anywhere unfamiliar. Third, trust your instincts. When Iniubong got to that location and it did not look right, she felt it. She said so in her message to her friend. She knew something was wrong. That feeling was correct. If something feels wrong, it is okay to leave. It is okay to refuse. No job interview is worth your safety. Fourth, know your emergency numbers. In Nigeria, the police emergency number is 112. Save it. The NYSC distress line should also be saved on every corps member's phone. Know who to call before you ever need to call them. Fifth, this is bigger than one person. Iniubong's case sparked nationwide protests. Her death contributed to a broader national conversation about the safety of young women, about gender-based violence, about unemployment, and about what kind of country Nigeria wants to be. Her elder sister, Ifyok, said it perfectly. The government must do more to provide opportunities for young graduates because desperation makes people vulnerable and predators know how to find the vulnerable. Iniubong Umoren deserved better. She deserved a chance. She deserved a job, a career, a future, a family of her own. She deserved all the things she was working toward when she sent that first message on April 29, 2021. She did not get those things, but she got justice. And because of the friend who refused to stay silent, because of the thousands who shared the hashtag, because of the investigators who moved quickly, and because of a court that took almost 2 full hours to carefully and thoroughly deliver a verdict, her name will not be forgotten. Iniubong Umoren. Say her name, remember it, share this video. If this story moved you, if it taught you something, if you think even one person in your life needs to hear it, please share this video right now. Share it to WhatsApp, to Instagram, to Facebook. Drop a comment telling us what part of this story hit you the hardest. Tell us what safety lesson you are taking away from today. And if you have not subscribed to Trem Crime Zone yet, please do it now. We tell real stories, African stories, stories that need to be heard so that fewer people become victims. Every subscription helps us reach more people. Every share protects someone you might never meet but whose life might be saved because they heard Iniubong's story. We'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay aware, and never stop asking questions.